everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to rediscover your passion and interest. Why? Because oftentimes we women, when we go through divorce or separation, or we find ourselves as single women, right? Single mothers, we live a life that can be described as boring just because of the failure that we have experienced. I see failure as a stepping stone to success. I see it as an opening to success, right? And I'm so glad that I have that perspective. This series, Divorced and Loving Life, is very dear to me because I really believe that regardless of the setbacks in life, you can still enjoy life. So it's actually up to you and no one else. You have your happiness and your joy and everything. You have it all in your hands, right? You make the call. So I'm asking you today to make the call to rediscover your passions and your interests so that you can begin to, live that exciting life, right? That you used to live when you were single. One of the very first things I want to do is to take you back. We're going to go way back to when you were a miss before you became a Mrs. Those activities, those hobbies that you enjoyed before, can you list them out and reflect on them, right? While reflecting on them, I want you to ask yourself these questions. When I used to paint, if you used to paint as a hobby, when I used to paint, how did I feel inside? Was I excited? Was I just painting? Just ask yourself that question and ask yourself the next question. How would I feel if I took up painting again? If I took up riding again, or cycling again, or dancing again, how would I feel? So we need to set up the state that will get you back into that space of joy. The next thing I want you to do after you've listened and reflected on those habits you enjoyed when you were a miss, before you became a Mrs., is to ask yourself which ones you want to continue with. Because you may have outgrown some habits, to be honest. So you got to ask yourself, out of these hobbies, which one do I want to pick up again? And then you listen, which one do I want to drop? Great. So you don't have those hobbies and activities that you want to continue with. The next thing is to be open-minded. I want you to now experiment on embracing new hobbies. So list out new hobbies. Do your research. You have to do a lot of research, right? And research means you engaging people, going on the internet, and researching so that you can get more information and ideas. And then look at who you are and match those hobbies to your personality. The next thing is for you to also be intentional about joining communities that will expose you to like-minded people. There are people who have set up communities of like-minded people who carry out different hobbies. For example, if you like to ride the bicycle, right? There's a group for that. There's a community that do that. If you like to walk, there's a community that does that. If you like to dance, there are different restaurants or establishments that offer dancing classes. The salsa, the rumba, the tango, all those. I think I need to actually start dancing again. Yes. But you have establishments that offer that. Some even take the dancing classes to restaurants, right? And so you can experience two things in one, which is the community in the restaurant. You can have a good meal, and then you can dance, and then you get to meet people, right? So something you should do. And that leads me to the next one, which is to consider taking classes or workshops to explore new skills. I would love to start painting, drawing and painting, because it's something I really love to do. My hands are always itchy to scribble in my notepad while I'm thinking, and I'll just draw something funny. And so I want to take a proper art class. Why don't you do something like that? It doesn't have to be art. It could be anything. It could be playing a piano. Oh, that's another one I want to do as well. Playing the piano. It could be playing a saxophone. It could be cooking. It could be clay. A clay class. Just something that, makes you feel vibrant. That is what I need you to do. Take those classes. Now, we're not stopping there. The next thing is to create a passion list. Some people call it a bucket list. What are those things that you always wanted to try but haven't? Just write that list and put in that bucket, and then get ready to explore them. Writing a passion list allows you to think about the things that you would like to do, and it builds up this bubble of excitement in you. And also, it allows you to be intentional about planning to tick off one of those items or activities. So your outlook to life becomes exciting. You're expectant, right? Because you want to try that thing. But if you don't have that passion list listed, you would never take it from your head into action, into reality. The next is to set aside regular time each week to engage in your activities, those activities that you love. I don't want you to just write a list. I want you to take action. I want you to immerse yourself in your passions and your interests. So you have to make time for it. If you don't make time for something, then it would never get done. Make that list of things you want to do every week and make sure it's on that list, and set aside a day, a few hours during your day to actually execute. And by execution, I mean living that passion or that activity. You need to actually get your hands dirty with it. The next is to avoid feeling guilty for pursuing your passions. Because, lady, it's time for you to grow. You cannot stay the same way that you were after you got divorced. You need to grow. Remember, we need to be working on the next version of ourselves. And if you do not pursue your passion with all the focus and with a little bit of selfishness, then you will never grow. You will constantly be questioning life and asking, what if I had done this? What if? And finally, while you are engaging in your passions and your interests, you will find that you are healing faster. You're healing emotionally, you're healing mentally. You will find that you're becoming whole. You're like this new person, this new human being. You're like, who's that girl? And you're like, who's that girl? Because this is a new version of you. And that's what we want to see. Be intentional about rediscovering your passions and your interests, because as you discover your passions and your interests, you discover yourself. And there's no better gift that anyone can give you, or you can give yourself, than discovering who you really are. Bye.